Hello and welcome to the second episode of Artifact Hunter. I'm Mike. I'm your DM for the night, and I'm here with my three players. I will throw it over to them and let them tell you who they're playing and what they do. Start with Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin. I am playing Meadow. She is a tabaxi with the soul of a house cat, and she is a bard.
Um, Below Robin is Arden.
Hi, I play Arden, who is a human monk, among other things.
Are you a monk or a cleric?
Why did I? Oh my god! Why did I? It's been a long day, guys. The funny part is, my brain. I've never played that class in any game
Oh,
I've ever played, or Dungeons and Dragons, or anything. I, Cleric, human cleric. Man,
you
I don't.
you just secretly want to play a monk and haven't gotten around to it yet.
Nah, no.
Uh,
No, I don't know, but not at this point. Shit.
uh,
Move on. Go.
and next to Arden is LaFall.
Hello, I'm LaFall. I'm playing a Averia Elf Ranger. Name is Arya.
Okay. And when we left this group last time, uh, you had just ended your day after getting supplies and horses because you've been hired by the mayor of the city to find out why a number of earthquakes happened during the city festival. Because there's an old wives' tale, an old story passed around for generations amongst the older people that in the time even before the initial dragon's rule, there was an artifact created with such power that it can uh, rip a hole through time and space. And given that it has this amount of power, those who created it shattered it and sent pieces to the farthest corners of the universe that they could get to, hoping that this thing would never reform and therefore destroy life as the mortals know it. Upon doing that, it was forgotten for millennia, except for these sto- stories that have found their way into existence. Mo- Most people think the stories are just that. Some old crazy person, you know, telling doomsday stories about the end of the world.
Which it might actually be, for all we know. Just that.
Yeah, it's a possibility. And so, and that's one of the things you were hired to find out. And actually, the mayor hopes that that is, in fact, what you find, which is that it's nothing but a story. And because it might not just be a story, is the reason he's willing to pay you as much as he is.
Yeah, that is quite a bit.
Yeah.
Clearly, the
Well,
man was not screwing around.
no. Well, he wants to do everything he can to stave off the end of existence.
Yeah, I can't say
Noble
for them.
cause.
So, as we start tonight, the three of you are woken up probably just after, we'll say, 7 or 8 in the morning by a large uh, ruckus that seems to be going on downstairs. What of what do the three of you do?
Well, I guess I'll do the, stretch and yawn. And then I'll, because I'm curious, I'll go kind of sneak downstairs very cautiously
Mm.
and see what's going on.
Give me a stealth roll to see if you can make your way down to the tavern without being noticed.
22 total.
You easily make it down. Although while you're doing it, you hear grumblings from the other rooms in the hallway because all the rooms are filled with except except for the rooms that you guys have. The rest of them are filled with the patients from the cleric hospital, which is inoperable at the moment. And when you do make your way down to the tavern, you see um, an elk or an elf and an orc fighting each other. and they're surrounded in a circle by most of the other patrons in the tavern. And you see the bartender doing his best to stand in between them so that a massive fight doesn't break out. Because the bartender doesn't want his bar destroyed. So,
Right, understandable.
and because they're yelling at each other and trying to get past the bartender to throw punches and stuff, what you glean from the conversation is the orc is basically uh, claiming that the seismic activity from the prior days signifies that the crystal, the artifact, has found a way to join its pieces together, and that this is the beginning of the end of known existence, and therefore is somewhat panicked. And the elf, being at least looking considerably older and having a knowledge of magic, is like, trying to convince the orc that if the artifact was in fact whole, there would be more consequences to it. But knowing orcs in general, and given the fact that this one has panicked, he basically just walked. When the elf said that, he just walked over and clocked him. And uh, knowing the history between orcs and elves,
Right.
it didn't take much after that. And so the crowd is screaming, they're taking bets. It's like, uh, the, this is the, you know, second most exciting thing to happen in this bar for years and years. So, uh, short of the earthquakes. And the bartender just standing in between the two, trying to get them to both calm down. So that's what you end up seeing when you make your way into the bar, into the tavern part of the bar.
Okay, I'm gonna try something.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back up to my room. I'm gonna get my flute, and I'm gonna like play a really like calming ballad and try to get both sides to just like chill out.
Uh, Are you going to attempt that just pure musically, or uh, is there any magic connected with this? Or What?
No, just pure musically.
Okay. Well,
I'm gonna get up and stand on one of the tables and just start playing like this, just really mellow.
well, give me another stealth roll first to see if you can make it back to your room and then back to the tavern.
Okay. Nat 20, so +5 would be a 25.
Not a problem.
And I'm never using any other dice but this one again.
Yeah, can you record this and send it to Jinx?
Yeah. and and wherever you got that dice from, let him know where he can get it.
Right.
Even
This is
if
one of
they
my
have
metal dice.
even if they have to send it to him. Yeah. But, okay, you make your way down into the tavern. You're able to climb up on the table because everybody's still throwing, you know, wanting the actual tavern crowd is wanting the bartender to go back behind the bar and to let these two fight.
Right.
Because they're taking bets and all this other stuff.
And I just want breakfast.
So you are easily able to jump up on one of the tables. And start playing. Give me a performance check.
That was another nat 20. I mean, yeah, Jinx needs to be watching.
See, right around this time, I'm stumbling downstairs, marveling at a bard that can sing and not knowing why.
So
It's just weird. It's like another life or something. We just knew a bard that was really bad with instruments and couldn't roll dice or something. It's really funny because he's not here, so to hear us make fun of him. I hope he's doing okay.
Yeah.
you have these strange dreams about this little bat type creature and weird looking armor.
Some dragon, some half dragon lady that flew me all over the place, screaming.
Right.
Weird.
But you are very much able, without really knowing how you managed to do it, to calm everybody down. And everybody turns and looks at you as you're playing. And the room goes silent. Which is odd for a tavern. So, what do you do?
When I finish the song, I just kind of wait and see what happens, see if, the kind of calm holds.
Wrong dice on that one. It actually does. People who are watching slowly head back to their seats at their tables. Um, the elf and the orc um, ju- just sort of stand there. Uh, both of the both of their arms go down to their sides, and they just sort of stand there. And the bartender, like, looks at both of them and goes, "We have big enough problems. We don't need to be fighting amongst ourselves. We need to be helping each other, given that this could kill all of us." And the, the two just sort of grudgingly shake their head and or nod their head and go back to their respective tables.
Okay, so at that point, I'm just going to climb down from the table I'm standing on. I'm going to sit down on the bench there in front of the table and wait to be waited on.
At this point, Arden sort of half awake stumbles into the tavern, stumbled down the stairs into the tavern.
Mm.
Uh,
Well, I heard something.
Yeah, there was a little dispute.
A dispute, huh? Like a good kind of dispute or bad? Because you have to be
Not,
careful with the bad kind of disputes.
yeah, not the good kind. It was more of a, almost fist fight kind of dispute.
Mm. Well, what happened? Did you take care of it?
I
Okay.
did, actually.
Oh. Well, I would just caution you to be careful. I once had a Tabaxi friend who went to Curio City, and she got killed by a street gang while she was investigating some crimes there. So, quite literally, curiosity killed the cat.
So I've heard. I will be
Yeah, you were supposed
careful.
to laugh harder at that. I worked on that joke.
No, I've had that warning before. Yes, I've heard that. But yes, I will try to be careful.
and what is Arya doing during this whole interaction?
Um, well, I'm getting my stuff together while they're all making all their noises and whatnot, since they're, it's time to get on our way anyway. So then I'll make my way down.
Okay, so you collect all your gear and stuff, and you got it on your back as you walk down the stairs into the tavern. You see Meadow and Arden sitting at a table. Do you join them or
Yeah, I'll make my way over there.
uh, so now that the three of you are sitting at a table, by this time the bartender himself walks over with three menus and goes, "What would the three of you like for breakfast?" Normally I wouldn't be doing this, but my waitress uh, quit on me last night, and there's apparently been quite a bit of panic after last night. And
Because of the earthquakes?
yeah, because everybody's buying into this story.
But it sounds like you don't believe it yourself.
I'm a businessman. I wouldn't close the inn. Even if the story ends up being true, uh, I will keep this place open until I can't anymore.
I sort of look around and at the building and go, well, if this keeps up too much longer, you might not have a building to keep open.
Well, yeah, given what happened to the cleric hospital, yeah, but hopefully that won't be the case. At least not for a while, I hope. Uh, But uh, I've heard that the mayor hired you three to go find out what the issue is.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Hopefully, hope I lean over to Meadow and whisper. Hopefully, he didn't tell, but hasn't got out how much we were paid.
No. Well, it was on the flyer. The number was on the flyer, so everybody
Oh,
seen that. But you also realize that you were the only three that actually volunteered to go do this.
no, we were the dumb ones.
Nobody else on the island, you know, when you got when the three of you got to the mayor's office, there wasn't a line out the door.
And they're probably not expecting to ever see us ever again either.
Well, I'd hope they would, given how much money they paid us.
The mayor is hoping to see you again.
Yeah.
The people on the island are like, ah, you've got to be kidding.
Yeah.
So, three more idiot tourists going down the tubes.
Right. There's adventurers heading off to certain doom.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time.
So the bartender's like, you guys know what you want?
Well, I'll have ham and eggs, and if you've got any like milk or cream, I'd appreciate that.
Well, I'll check that part. I'm not real sure about whether we have any fresh milk today or not. But I will check when I get to the kitchen. What about the other two of you? This inn has, you know, it's decent quality because it's the only inn on the island. So they pretty much have what you would expect to see from a decent inn on an island where they get fresh seafood and stuff like that. So,
Um, eggs, ham, bacon, tea.
tea, okay. Actually, how big is Aria?
Uh,
I
Would you establish it?
5 foot, 100 pounds.
Yeah, it's got short.
okay, okay. Because I haven't had a whole lot of experience with the flying elk before, so I wasn't really sure how big they were. But okay. And then he looks over at Arden and goes, "And what about you?"
Oh, do you just have some coffee and some baked or cooked fish?
Yeah,
Keep things simple.
yeah, we can do that. Uh, and he writes it all on his pad and turns turns and heads to the kitchen. A few a few minutes later, he comes out with the drinks. Um, and to Meadows' surprise, he does end up handing you a tankard with what looks like milk in it.
Oh, good. That's always hit or miss in taverns.
So, uh, he's not guaranteeing how fresh it is, but it,
Or what animal it came from.
yeah. So, and he said your food will be ready in a little bit.
So I suppose we should talk a little bit if we're going to be doing this. Unless you'd just rather not get to know each other.
Oh, no, if we're going to be traveling together as a party, I agree. We should get to know each other.
No, not everyone likes to know the people they're traveling with. You'd be surprised how secretive dwarves can be sometimes.
They're loudmouths. They aren't that secretive.
They're loudmouths when they're drunk, which takes a while. But even then, they don't really tell you much. At least not the ones that I've hung out with.
Oh, elves and dwarves don't get along all that well either.
Perhaps there's a loudmouthian sect of dwarves somewhere south of the mountains. I don't know. But
So, when the mayor handed you what maps he had when you saw him, who took those?
it wasn't me.
Because near the end of your conversation with him, he pulled out a couple of old maps and was like, "These are the only maps of the island we actually have."
Did
No,
we
he never
actually?
did.
I was gonna say I don't remember that part. And if he did, I don't think we ever picked them up.
Because in my head, I was like, okay, when you signed the contract, he would have given you those. Maybe I just thought about it and didn't tell you that.
Oh, well, thanks.
Which, but uh, because you would have no idea where to go otherwise, or at least where to start. And,
That probably would be handy.
uh, but all right, so I will say that since I intended on him doing that, I will say that he did that.
I would assume the ranger would be the holder of the maps.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so how do you guys plan your trip?
Well, what are the maps? What do these maps look like?
Um, if you
Y-
pull them out of your pouch, uh, they are very old. They were originally written on parchment, which is now started to darken with age. Um, apparently, these maps were written by the original person who settled the island. Um,
So there could be differences.
and you don't know how long ago that was, or if they're still on the island, or anything like that.
So did anyone happen to catch where these mysterious artifacts are rumored to be, or do we just kind of throw a dart at the map and start checking?
Well, I think before we start running around looking for these, shouldn't we do some more in depth research as to whether or not there's really anything to be looking for at all? Because most of what I've been hearing is that it's just a story. So, is there a way that we could determine once and for all whether it is just a story or whether there's something to look for before we just start running around?
There, in my experience over the years, there may never be a way to tell, but usually myths and stories this old for have some basis in truth and reality, even if that was lost to time. Whether it was the people who experienced it in their time not understanding what was happening to them, but there's usually something about those stories. Now, it could be that this mysterious, powerful artifact was, uh, a pair of dragons snoring, or something along those lines, or it could be that there is something there.
So what we need to do is somehow find somebody who knows something about how the story got started, or knows, maybe even seen, maybe someone around here has seen the object themselves at some point. I mean, I
Okay, you're talking about contacting someone that's probably hundreds of thousands of years old.
Judging from the age of from the look of these, whoever's old enough to remember when they were created isn't human.
well, I never said they had to be human.
I need all three of you to give me a history roll.
worst.
Oh my god!
Awful roll.
What the hell?
We got a nat 1.
I rolled a natural 20 plus 4. 24 total. What in
17.
the world?
Okay.
So we got a nat 1 with a nat 20.
Yeah. Here's the problem. It's like we need to save the rolls for late. We're gonna wish we had these rolls later.
Yeah.
I'm never going to wish I had a nat 1.
Well,
Arden and Arya recall that in all the retellings of the stories that you've heard over the last few days that you've been there for the festival and all, uh, nobody has ever mentioned um, how old this artifact really is or what it originally looked like.
I just remembered that we've not heard that nobody has mentioned how old this artifact is or what it looked like.
Well, then we definitely need to figure that out before we go chasing our tails all over the place. I mean, we have to know what we're looking for.
Do you do that? Never mind.
Sometimes.
Okay. We're also assuming that the map is old, and we're assuming this is an ancient story, but it might not be. It's just old enough to be older than the people who live here. It could be.
Maybe we should talk to some of those fanatics who were outside your temple yesterday. See if we can pick up something that's, maybe they actually know more than we think they do.
You mean the ones who were trying to get in during the earthquake?
Yes.
They're responsible for a lot of injuries.
I thought that was the earthquakes that were responsible. Unless they trampled people. Oh, yeah.
No, they trampled him.
Arden, give me a perception check.
Well, here we go.
We're okay.
11.
Did you hear that, Linda? You're okay.
6 plus 5.
An 11. That's enough for you to remember that you still have a meeting with Father Bob before you can.
That's what his name was. I couldn't remember what his name was.
Before you head off on this little adventure. So, about this time, the bartender comes out with a large tray that has 3 plates on it. And he's like, you know what? Waitresses are much better at this than I am. I think I need to find a waitress that won't panic and run away. He sets the tray down in front of the 3 of you and hurries back over to the bar because he has noticed since the festival, there seems to have been an increase in drinking. uh, he's
Really?
go he's going through alcohol faster than he ever has before. So
I'll start to. I'll just munch on my food for now.
um,
Well, I have a meeting. I need to go speak with Father Bob. Oh, jeez. I'm trying to figure. I need to go speak with Father Bob before we really do anything and make sure he's okay, and to also make sure that um, he's all right with me leaving. I don't think he's in any condition to say no, but I really don't want him to worry.
he is currently in the back in the left side room on the back of the hallway on the second floor. Uh, because he was one of the people that was injured when the Cleric Hospital got messed up. And since they've declared the Cleric Hospital not non-inhabitable, all the all they sent all the clerics home, and so Father Bob is the only one of your uh, group that you have any access to at this point.
Okay.
And
What?
breakfast, the rest of breakfast goes by without any major incident. There is some grumbling amongst the clientele in the tavern, the ones that actually put money down on the fight eh, that never ended up happening. But other than that, so after the three of you finish your breakfast, what do you do?
Well, I left all my gear and stuff up in my room, so I guess I'd better go get that, and then I'll just uh, go wait outside the tavern
Okay,
for everybody to kind of assemble before we head off.
then what about Arya?
Um, well, I'm gonna be waiting for the other two to get their stuff together so we can go start researching what we need to find out about the so-called history of this so-called artifact.
So called. Like that.
So you and Meadow are pretty much waiting for Arden to go talk to Father Bob. And even you, Arden, don't really know why Father Bob told you to come and see him again before you left.
Well, I will go off to see him once I've eaten and kind of worked through everything and paid.
Yeah. Um,
Are you where? Are you all you both just going to stay here until I get back, or he wanted to see me and I can't go without his blessing?
Yeah, I'll just wait outside.
and so, Arden, you head back upstairs and head to the end of the hall. Uh, Father, when you get there, Father Bob's door is slightly open.
I'll knock quietly.
Uh, he comes to the door and motions for you to come in.
I'm happy to see you on your feet.
Uh, Feeling somewhat better. He's actually up and dressed in his regular, like, work, uh, what he wears on a daily basis during his day. Uh, and he,
Are you feeling? Are you feeling any better?
uh, somewhat, I think I'll be okay in a day or two. Uh,
That crowd was not very forgiving, whether they understood it or not, whether they realized what they were doing or not.
well, when people panic, that's what you get. And he motions for you to come inside and closes and locks the door. Um, After you told me you were going to go off on this adventure, I realized that there was something that might end up being useful to you.
Now I'm curious. It's a
Well,
little spooked before because it usually takes some extra effort for a gnome to lock the doors of a standard size room.
well, he's got a he's got a 4.5 foot vertical leap.
Oh God!
He would have made Michael Jordan look bad.
Did any of you ever see the Star Wars prequels?
Yeah.
Yoda like fighting Count Dooku in the Star Wars prequels? That's all I could think of.
Yes.
Well, Yoda could just float, but
Mhm.
and upon seeing Father Bob do this, you wonder what he works on in his spare time, because gnomes don't normally do this,
Especially not less than a day after being trampled by a panicked mob.
right? So, and he says, as you know, there are a number of temples dedic- dedicated to our goddess around the island and in other places. Um, with a little bit of time, I can get a hold of the head priests and priestesses in the other temples, and that'll give you sort of resting points along the way. Then who knows? The other temple libraries may have information that we don't have.
Where would you suggest we start? Do you know anything more about what we've been asked to do?
Yes, because as I think you've gathered by now, this artifact has been around for millennia. So, at various times, other people have tried to find it. Uh, Other people have tried to gather information on it.
Is it like, are we talking, treasure hunt kind of thing, or just academic?
Uh, probably, probably a little of both. It's like I'm sure the scholars in the other temples have been trying to gather information, and I'm also sure that you're not the first adventure party that's ever tried to go out hunting for this thing. I would be careful though, very careful, because if it's strong enough, if the shards of it are strong enough to do what happened here yesterday, I wouldn't necessarily assume that everybody that's gone looking for it has been, uh, shall we say, in good standing. Because
Do you know if
I could
anyone's
imagine what now?
Do you know if anyone's found
I
any
didn't.
pieces?
And uh, at least through the other uh, heads of the temples, uh, I have not uh, been told that any of it's been found. Because if it was, that would be rather large and possibly catastrophic news, depending on who happened to uh, find any of it.
Yeah, I think so.
Because this thing could have the type of power that could draw demons and who who knows what to come looking for it. So that is if the stories are true.
Well, at this point, we don't know what is true.
No. And
There's clearly something, but we don't know if it's just myth or, yeah, more than just urban legend. More than urban, it wouldn't be urban legend, but legend.
right. And even if the story is not true, something happened to the island last night. As the aftermath can attest to. So even even if it's not the artifact, it would be helpful to know what caused last night.
I have to say that it's not some sort of powerful artifact. The questions, whatever the answers are to that question, are not good unless
Mm,
it's just natural.
which that would be the best case scenario, but even that's not really good. you know,
Well, it wouldn't be the first time I've seen a crowd panic over a completely understandable and natural phenomenon.
you know, people tend to do that all the time. That's what we're here for, to find out what the problems are.
Is there anything else you think I should know?
um, Not currently. I will, in the next few days, try to get a hold of as many of the other temples as I can, and hopefully, when I'm back to full health, we can start working on rebuilding the uh, Cleric Hospital.
Okay. Well, thank you for your help. I hope you feel better.
Oh, I should eventually. Uh, I hope you guys make it back in one piece and at the very least can come back with a definitive answer about the artifact one way or the other.
Me too.
Uh, just be careful and, you know, don't touch it unless you have to, sort of thing.
Anything more? Anything more relevant than that, Father? Don't touch it. Yeah, we
I
kind of.
I'm just assuming that would be a bad idea. I could be wrong on that part, but uh, so
Okay. Got us go with you, Father Bob.
uh, you too.
So I'll leave and try to go find the others.
Who are basically waiting right outside the front door of the inn. Uh, wh- um, so now the three of you are basically ready to get your supplies, grab your horses, and try to figure out which way you want to go.
I'm looking.
Okay. So quick question, you two.
Yeah,
Yes.
Um, do we really know what we are looking for?
Um, I
Is there any historical documentation other than hearsay?
Not that I've been able to find. There's a lot of superstition around the entire thing, and even Father Bob didn't have much more than vague reassurances and stories. He said we should try some of the other temples as we go along our way, but it at no point has anybody really said where we should be going, and I'm not even sure which direction to start.
Well, then I guess we just head for the closest cleric temple where to here, wherever that would be, and look for clues as we go.
Um, Arden, give me another history check.
9. There's the wonderful rolls.
Uh, you know that there's another, just from having spent time in this temple, you know that there's another temple to your goddess uh, on the southwestern edge of the island, because there's a rather bustling port city, and that's where all the uh, imported goods come in, and exports and ships go out. And from what you've been told over your time at the temple slash cleric hospital, that this temple is larger than yours. So,
Well, technically, any of them is larger than mine because it's
well, okay, it's larger than even yours was when it was all in one piece. Because your temple is small and it doesn't have much of a library where this one does.
well. I do remember. I do know of one other place near one of the ports that we can check. They may have more information than we have here. Were you able to find anything more?
Not as yet, but I think if we can find some kind of library or something, ancient library, we could probably find out more information there.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Sounds like our best bet is to head towards. That was what Father Bob cautioned, was just to do our best and see what more information we could pick up as we journeyed along.
Okay, so let's find someone who knows a little bit more about this island, I guess, to find out if there's any ancient historical libraries around.
Mm,
I assumed we were gonna go check at that temple.
mm.
Well, the temple's one good place, but still, if there's an ancient library around, that'd be another good place.
Um, you do have two maps of the island uh, that were. They look like they were written at different times because one of them looks to be uh, um, how should I put this? Uh, Less populated. There's more forest and stuff than there are buildings. And then on the second one, there are a lot more, you know, little towns. And then the, um, it does look like there's a main artery. Um, you're assuming it's a road that runs into this town on the coast. And the town on the coast, uh, the name the map has is Costa, Kosta. Um, Not knowing how old these maps are, you're not really sure if that's what the town is called today, but it looks to be in the general location area that Father Bob mentioned.
So that sounds like a good place to start.
But there
I
are a bunch of small towns along the way, and um, you never know what you might find before you even get there. So,
Shall we get started?
Yeah, I don't have any better ideas, so that sounds like a good place to start, like you said.
Yep.
so the two of you or three of you leave the area of the inn and go to the livery and pick up your horses and uh,
And healing potions and all that we ordered.
right. Yeah, 'cause you did go to the
We told the mayor that we want healing potions.
Got to get the important stuff.
and so as you're coming back through town from picking up your horses, um, the mayor is standing at the front door of the mayor's office and he has a package in his hand. And he uh, runs out to catch you guys as you go by uh, and hands you a package. These were the things you wanted from yesterday.
Thank you.
Uh, a package was handed to my secretary this morning, and I assume it was for you guys. Um, well, be careful. I hope this just turns out to be some random story made up by some old guy and it still wouldn't explain the earthquakes, but
Question for you, sir. Do you
Yes.
know of any ancient libraries?
Uh, oh, um, well, mo- most of the villages and towns between here and the coast are fairly small. Um, but I would think that um, if you're headed to the southwest, the two oldest cities on the island are in that direction. Um, they were established even before the capital was. And if I was going to look for uh, something like an ancient library, it would be those are the two places along the way I would check. Um, um, and uh, he's like, he pulled out a small piece of charcoal from a tunic pocket and takes the package and writes the names of two uh, towns on the package. One is Port Vale, and the other is uh, and the other's Cutter. And he says, if you look on the map, you should be able to find these two names fairly easily. Um, both of them are, I'd say, a good half day's ride from here. And there's a split in the trail in the road. And
Decide which one to go to.
and Cutter goes to the left and Port Vale goes to the right. But they're not very far off the main road. I'm not sure what the condition of these places are given the earthquakes from last night. Uh,
Can't imagine it's any better than here.
well, probably not, but we have no idea of where the epicenter of the earthquakes were.
True.
Um, I would be slightly careful if you go into the towns and stating that you're looking for information on the artifact or artifact story. Not really sure what kind of greeting you might get.
The pitchfork kind, or just the
Spe- Especially if they have had earthquake trouble.
All we have to say is that we're doing research. We don't have to tell them what it's for.
That's true, but if they're little towns or anything like this one, there'll be probably a bit of panic in the air. So I would just be careful if I were you.
good to know.
And with that, he hands you back the package and heads back into his office.
I'm a little curious. The more that we get into this, as to why there's so little information about this, given everyone's fear about it all. Is this a superstitious place?
Uh,
It just seems like there's an awful lot of panic over something that most people don't know anything about. Well, you know what? I guess that's never mind. It's not.
well, the story,
I said that.
or some version of the story has been circulating for like 8 generations, and you're not really sure what the story started as. So, because stories, the longer they're out there, the more they change. So,
Right.
this could have originally been a story about a boy in a can of dog food, for all you know. And now it's like there's a crystal that will, there's an artifact that'll, you know, destroy mankind and such. So,
Fair enough.
so the three of you head out the main gate of Burundi and start heading down the road to the southwest. Uh, I'd say it's still before noon. So, which one of you has the maps, and which one of you is going to look at them and sort of be the navigator of this group?
I think our ranger should be that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So,
You've been nominated. Hey, you wanted to play the ranger.
and this is the sort of thing rangers do. Yeah. Um, So let's see.
Well, I guess our cleric's carrying our medical supplies.
Yeah, I've got 'em.
Yeah,
That I do have. Talked about that the very first day.
the
At least
hold it.
it's in my inventory list. I know we talked about it.
I was gonna say, hold it. The cleric has medical supplies. Whoa.
And not just medical spells.
No, I do have some. Do have some.
Mhm. So, uh, what is Arya's passive perception?
16.
You look at the maps. Um, they are very old. The writing is considerably faded, but you are still able to read them well enough to find the road you're on, pinpoint where you are, and it turns out that um, Cutter is the closer of the two. It's on the same uh, road fork, but it curves back to the left, so it's actually a few miles closer to you than Porterville, whatever I said the other town's name was.
Right.
N- Names are the hardest thing for me to come up with on the fly. So, uh, but anyway,
In the direction that uh, Arden was wanting us to go to
uh,
his other temple.
well, yes, you are on the road headed to the southwest, which, if you follow the road to its end, uh, ends up in Costa, where he was instructed to go.
Okay.
These are just the two towns or villages before that are the oldest in the kingdom in the on the island and would be the most likely to have older libraries and such.
Certainly not a bad idea.
So off to Carter we go then.
And who knows? You might find differing versions of the story depending on who you talk to when you get there. Uh, the first few hours up until about lunchtime go by fairly uneventfully. Your horses are fresh, so you're making decent time. And if you sort of track yourself on the map, by the time the sun is at its highest point, you're probably halfway to Cutter, maybe a little more. Uh, Continuing to go at this pace, you assume you'll get there before sundown. But are you guys gonna stop for food or just keep going or what?
Nah, just eat while we ride.
You can easily do that because your rations and your supplies are in your saddlebag, so it's not difficult to do that. You do know, however, at some point during the day, you are going to have to stop and at least water the horses and let them graze for a while. So, you guys keep heading toward Cutter. And let's see. And, you know, you're making good time. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you begin to see off in the distance the fork in the road that uh, you you know Cutters on the left, um, on the road that goes to the left and curves back around. As you look up out toward where the fork in the road is, I need you all to give me I, I don't really want to do this twice, so I'll do it both
But
together. I need you all to give me a a dexterity check, and this is for you and your horse. Since
11 total.
okay,
16.
what about Aria?
Total of 15.
Um,
Oh
Aria,
no, my bad. Total of 18.
uh, Aria and Aiden are able to stop the horse. Um, they're able to stop their horses as the ground begins to move underneath them. And A fairly large chasm opens between the three of you and the fork in the road.
Whoa!
Meadow and her horse, however, don't stop. They don't.
Not for lack of trying. The horse just isn't. The horse isn't obeying me.
They, you know, they don't go plummeting off into the chasm, but just before, like 2 or 3 steps before that, the horse stumbles and falls and lands on its side, which means Meadow is basically now laying on the ground covered by about half a horse.
I was just gonna say, did the horse fall on me?
Yeah, or at least partially, because the horse sort of went over sideways and you were still hanging on when it did. So it's sort of,
Do I take any damage?
uh, uh well, give me give me an athletics check to see if you can keep the horse from falling on your leg or something.
Okay. 15.
You are it it lands on your leg, but uh, most of its weight hits the ground, and so you take 2 points of damage to one of your legs because the horse pinned your leg and you had to struggle to get out of there.
Okay. Is the horse okay? Can I get it back? I mean, can it get back on its feet and everything?
Uh, it doesn't appear to be injured. Do you have any animal handling?
Well, I have +4 in animal handling.
Give me. The horse gets up on its own, but it is visibly shaken. So give me an animal handling roll to see if you can calm the horse down.
Okay. 11 total.
It takes a minute, and the horse seems to be resisting because it doesn't know what just
Right.
happened. But eventually, it decides that it likes you enough that it calms down. And uh, So now the three of you are standing there with your horses. Um, I'd say about 10 feet from this now open chasm in the road.
I'm not the only one seeing this, right?
No,
It's not a
this
hallucination.
this is a real thing. The road just opened up out of nowhere. And all three of you, you know, if we were talking modern day, this would be a large sinkhole, basically.
So it wasn't another earthquake that caused this. That's what I assumed. But
Well, yes, it was, but this time it actually split
right.
split the earth open. It wasn't just rattling. It was
And I assume where we're trying to go to is on the other side of the chasm.
yeah,
Before the fork in the road.
yeah. Which means the whatever whatever's causing this is getting stronger.
But would we have any way of knowing that?
Well, just by judging what from what happened last night, because there were no large breaks in the earth in Burundi last night. So, judging from that, you're assuming that things are getting either what's causing it is getting stronger or things are just getting worse, one or the other.
Goody.
So, um,
That seems stronger to anyone else? Don't remember seeing anything like this in the town.
No, definitely. This didn't happen back there. Although your temple was destroyed, so
Yeah, but I don't remember any part of the ground splitting or anything along those
no.
lines.
no, the temple, the walls and the ceilings caved, but there was no, large crack in the ground or anything like that. In fact, that's a good thing because that means the foundation of your temple is still relatively solid. All they have to do is rebuild the walls and the ceilings and such. But
I don't see any way we can get across this here. We're gonna have to find a point at which we can go around it.
Is this. Well, you made it sound like it was more of a sinkhole or something like that. Are we talking like a canyon here, or is it something we could go around easily? Like, how big is this?
um, it's basically say the road is 12 feet wide. Um, this this would be about 14 because it covers the width of the road plus about a foot on either side. So
So we'll
Right, but
definitely
is it
we'll have to
something
go
that we can?
around.
Yeah, is it something that we could like? Is it something that we can go around? Like, can we see the ends of it, the edges of it, or does it go farther than we can see?
yeah, you can see the edges of it. Uh,
So I'd say we'll have to. I would say we just walk around, just do our best and walk around it.
Yes.
so you're gonna lead the horses on foot.
Sounds like our best option. Yes, I am.
Okay. Uh, Are you guys
No,
gonna are you guys gonna do this single file or how, how are you going around it?
Well, is it woods on both sides or what?
that's kind
Um,
of what I'm thinking. Yeah, like
Because we should be able to get a big enough berth if it's only 14 feet wide.
you're basically in a mixture of woods and grassland sort of thing.
that doesn't sound like we. Yeah, I mean, we can. Maybe we'll do it single file, just for the safety of for the to make the horses feel better. We can do it, but we don't need to, right?
No, there is enough space that you're not forced to go single file. No, it's not that tight of a space. But, but which one of you is going first?
Why?
I'll
We'd let the
take
ranger
the
go first.
lead.
Okay,
Do ranger things.
so and are you leading your horse or are you on your horse? Or are you flying at this point?
Oh, I haven't even let them know I have wings yet, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, well, either way, whether you're leading your horse or on your horse, uh, you walk by the edge of the uh,
I give the edge a good 5 feet distance, so
what now?
I'm gonna give the edge a good 5 feet.
Smart.
Yeah, I feel like that's smart.
um, okay. You go around a little bit so there's some room between you and the edge of this, what is now a cliff. Uh, do you walk past it casually, or do you, as you pass it, do you look down to see what's there or what?
Yeah, curiosity's got me, so I'll take a look over the to see what I can see.
Uh, you look down over this chasm as you're making your way around it. Um, and let's see. I need I need an intelligence check.
16.
Okay. You walk down. You walk around the edge of this. You look down in it. Uh, and given the fact that you yourself have magical ability and are to a degree um, literate with spells yourself, you look down and you see a multitude of colors and they're shifting. And you can tell right away that there's magic involved. Because you've seen smaller versions of these kind of spells before. Uh, you know, various orbs and such give off colors when they're activated. So you've seen these kind of spells before, but not to this size, not to this many colors, and they are changing colors fairly rapidly. So,
Okay. Um,
and you get the distinct sense that falling into this would not be a good thing.
what type of with my knowledge, what type of uh, magical use would this be coming from?
Well, you know, it looks like a wizard type spell. Uh, but its size and intensity tell you that you probably never met any or heard about any wizard that would be strong enough on their own to create what you're seeing. Um,
Hmm.
so, but as I said, you get the distinct feeling off the energy of it that if you accidentally fell in, you wouldn't even be surviving on a molecular level.
Oh,
So the, this is prob um, this is probably the largest amount of magical energy that Arya's ever experienced before, and uh, and it's not very positive.
Right.
So what do you want to do?
So, does it look like it's flowing underneath the ground or just sitting there?
From this height, you can't tell. To find that out, you would have to go down and get closer to it.
Yeah, no, I'm not going down.
So I need athletics checks from all three of you to make sure you get around this thing and don't act don't actually accidentally fall into it.
19.
Oh shit.
19.
See, we're gonna pay for it.
6.
Ooh, ouch. Ooh, ouch.
At a 19.
Well, see, yeah, Arden and Arya got 19s, and you Meadow got a 6. Uh, so, well, your horse, uh, Arden and Arya make it around it fairly easily. You are currently bringing up the rear because your horse is still somewhat shaken by the whole thing. And and that's the other thing. All three horses are extremely nervous because of the magical energy that's happening. Uh, Arya and Arden are able to guide their horses around it with some difficulty, but they do. Uh, Meadow, however, her horse, as she's trying to go around it, stumbles. And you fall off your horse?
I was leading it.
Oh, well, oh, you were walking. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I was leading the horse because I wasn't mainly because I wasn't sure after I'd fallen the first time, what kind of shape it was in, so I didn't want to get on it, so I was
okay.
walking it. Yeah.
Well, in that case, um, you want to get to the edge. You're you're walking around the side, and you get to the edge, and the horse panics and bolts. In process of bolting, it hits you in the back with its head, and you go tumbling over to the edge of this thing. Now, I need I need a dex roll from you. And if you weren't a tabaxi, you wouldn't be getting this.
Ooh.
Okay. Oops. Dice jumped out of the tray. Let me roll again. 10. Okay, this dice is going into dice jail. There you go.
It's being eaten by green slime as we speak.
Yes, it went into the gelatinous cube dice jail.
Yes. Uh, since we're early into this and I don't really want to kill you off,
Oh my goodness.
well,
No, I mean, be fair. If I die, I die, I guess.
well, given my description of if you landed in this, you would basically be vaporized. Uh,
Ooh. Well, I do have claws. I can hang on to the edge.
well, see, that's what that roll was for.
Oh,
To
so that
see,
doesn't work.
actually, since you got to double figures, I'll be nice. Uh, if you'd have rolled like a 6 again,
Yeah.
you'd have been toast. But since you rolled the 10, I will say by one claw of 1 foot, you were able to hang on. And so you're just hanging there.
Oh God, I'm hanging there and yowling.
Being magically radiated the entire time.
Oh, great.
Oh, it's a superhero origin story.
Now, can I actually try to like claw my way up?
I assume we see this and we can help her.
Well, no, because she's behind you. The two of you got around already. And she was the last one of the three of you to try this. You do, however, hear her scream when she does.
Oh my goodness. Does Arya hear it?
Yeah.
I would assume since she's standing next to you.
I don't know how good.
Or
She'd be deaf.
are you two back up on your horses, or?
I mean, if we're that close to each other, I don't think we've made it all the way through yet.
And actually, wouldn't they have seen my horse bolt like past them?
Yeah.
So they probably knew something was up. Because my horse ran past them without me on it.
Basically, yes.
So I turn around and what do we got to do? We got to do something with the horse. Her horse took off. Um, so why don't
Quickly
we just
tie
go get her
the
horse? Well, we need to try and save her though.
quickly tie the lead to my horse off to a tree real quick. Take the rope, throw it over the edge.
Yeah. Because in your packs, each of you have, what, 50 feet of rope at least? So you do that. As Arya's doing that, Arden, you see Meadow's horse stumble again and just fall over on its side.
God, your horse is.
Not having a bad day.
But this time, it's not getting up.
Does I'm gonna glance over and make sure Arya's got the situation with Meadow handled and doesn't need any help. Do you need any help?
I should be good.
Okay. And I'm gonna go check on the horse. I'll, uh, I'll do the same thing that Arya did. I'll tie mine off to one of the trees nearby, away from the
Yeah.
sinkhole, and then run over to help Meadow's horse if I can.
Well, I will let you roll a medicine check on the horse.
Whoa! It's 27. It was a 19.
Wow.
I plus 8 to medicine.
Okay. So you get to the horse and it looks fine until you look at its mouth, basically. The multicolored whatever it is down at the bottom of this chasm, you see a similar thing coming out of the mouth of this horse. And you basically conclude that if you get too close to whatever this is, that's what happened.
Too close to the stuff in the sinkhole or too close to the horse?
The horse got too close to the stuff in the chasm, and the energy did that to it.
So I'm basically dead
Yeah, I
anyway.
was gonna say, you might want to pull our furry friend out of there really quick. I think this horse
Now,
is suffering from whatever is down there.
Is the rope in reach? Can I get a hold of the rope?
Arya, give me a athletics check to see if you can toss the rope down there and get it to Meadow.
8.
8. Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll up a new character.
No, you're not. One more, one more thing. You might not have to.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Arya throws the rope the best she can. I need a athletics check from Meadow to see if you can reach out with one of your front paws and grab this as it gets close.
12.
Hmm. If I go by what the dice just said, no. So the rope just sort of hangs there, and you are still hanging on with one claw.
Can I try again to reach it?
Yeah.
Athletics.
Yep.
16.
With some struggle, you do grab it the second time. Uh, how big is Meadow?
She is, I have it written down here, 5'9" and 180 pounds.
Arya, you begin to pull on the rope once you feel that she actually has it. But it doesn't feel like it's moving because she's almost a foot taller and almost twice as heavy as you are. And so you are having difficulty pulling her out of this.
Um. Okay.
Can I get purchase on the side with my back paws and try to kind of push up that way as she's trying to pull me up?
What I'll do is say that when Arya rolls to see if she can pull you,
Yep.
since you're helping her, I will give her advantage on doing it.
Okay. First one was a 17. And this one is a 25.
Okay. With your help, the two of you struggle, and after a bit, you're able to climb up over the edge. Um, and I need a con check from Meadow.
Of course you do. Question is which dice, because now all of them have decided to turn against me again.
I knew it wouldn't last long. I really did.
Probability is a fickle mistress.
12.
Okay. At current, you are able to uh, get back on your feet once you're a little further away from the edge. You do, however, feel like all, all of that this thing took all of the energy that you got. And you are suddenly extremely tired. And
And I am now without a horse. So,
Well, it's still
you,
alive, isn't
oh, I thought it was dead.
it?
well,
Is it?
the it's not up on its feet, it's on its side, and there is strange multicolored glowing stuff coming out of its mouth. Uh, its eyes are, however, open. Uh, you don't want, none of you really know what that means, but the horse is, in fact, not quite dead yet.
But yeah, so it's not functioning though. It's
No,
not gonna work to ride on it. So I'm
no,
technically without a horse.
it doesn't look like it's getting up anytime soon.
Does it look like it's suffering?
It's laying there, but it's not making any noises, so you can't really tell.
Okay, so I'm trying to decide whether or not I need to put it out of its misery.
Mm,
See, I'm trying to think.
Um,
I might be able to help here if it's magic, but I have no idea.
Oh, wait. I have speak with animals. Can I ask the horse if it's dying or if it's in any pain?
you can certainly give it a try.
Okay, I kind of forgot I had that spell. Let me see how I cast that.
Well, so I can detect magic and I can dispel magic, but it sounds like this is really powerful stuff.
Yeah,
Save your horse so you don't have to walk the whole way.
Hang on. Well, I'm assuming I could ride behind one of you until we get to a village where I can purchase another one.
till you see if Cutter has a livery stable or a blacksmith or something.
Right. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's anything I need to do to cast it. It just happens.
Okay.
And there's no saving throw or anything. It's just an action.
Even if even if there was a saving throw, it'd be like the horse. You walk up to it, cast it, and the horse decides not to talk to you.
Right.
Be like, nope.
But even if you do that, like, what kind of response are you going to get back from the horse? Not exactly
I
talking in Einstein here.
no. All I want to know is if it's suffering, if it's in pain. Because if it is, I'll do what I need to do.
So you cast this. Um, you ask your question. Are you basically just asking it whether it's in pain or whether it's injured or that
Yeah.
sort
Yeah.
of?
Yeah. If it's injured, if it's
Um, it doesn't give any kind of physical response, but it does, with the help of the spell, connect with you on a mental level. And um, look, where'd my folder go? Okay. And what you get from it mentally is a close up view in your head of all the colors you would have seen had you been looking down while you were hanging by a claw.
right.
But you also get the feeling that this is not re- really magical energy as you know it. Because being a bard, you have some experience with spells
Mhm.
yourself. And the feeling this animal gives you is that what's down there isn't magic. It's actual. And the horse struggles to relay this part because it's almost above its ability.
Intelligence.
It's above its ability for its brain to process what it saw. But the word you keep getting from the horse is plain. Plane. And the horse repeats this over and over and over again because it's the only thing it can, you know, it's a horse, it's not a human. So,
I mean, Mr. Ed could talk.
yeah, well,
But it still doesn't give me an answer as to whether or not I need to slit its throat,
oh,
though.
Oh, the feeling you get from this horse is that it's its brain isn't even there anymore. It's like
Yeah.
this horse's consciousness is somewhere else
Okay, so that is my answer.
because it couldn't have the energy running through it that it is with all the colors coming out of its mouth.
Mhm.
It's too much energy for its system to deal with. Uh,
Okay, so getting this feeling, then I'm going to draw my dagger, apologize to the horse, and put it out of its misery.
because you get the sense that eventually, for lack of a better term, after it came down from processing all this, it would die.
Mm.
It's just too much of an energy overload for its brain to process. So, so you mercifully cut its throat.
Rough day, huh?
Yeah, at that point, I'm just gonna walk away and like just sit down on the ground and curl up into a little ball.
I'm going to, as I watch her do this, I'm going to carefully see if I can, without her knowing, I'm going to cast detect magic on her to see if she was affected by her time in the same way the horse was.
Okay. What do you have to do to cast that?
It's a very good question. I probably should have looked that up first. Doesn't say. It's just a concentration spell. Yeah,
Um,
no, there's nothing specific to it. It's just a concentration spell.
okay. You cast that. Um, you get a very small residual of magic showing up. But given she's a bard and has magic spells, that could be where that residual is coming from. But you also do um, see faint traces of the energy that's coming out of the horse's mouth Um, let's just say if you looked at Meadows' aura right now, it's a mixture of several colors. Eh, and it is changing color almost in sequence with what's below the cliff.
But nothing anywhere near what the horse would have.
No.
I'm gonna keep that to myself for now.
Eh,
You would be cautious about this.
basically, once you're done with your spell, you realize that on some level, however small at this point, on some level, she was affected by it. You don't know how that will manifest itself, if at all. You just know that the horse got enough of it that for a horse, it was enough to kill it. You don't, however, know how higher mentally functioning creatures would handle it.
Okay, that's. I was just.
Yeah. So you're
Yes, I am higher. I am higher mentally functioning than a horse. If that's what you were wondering.
Oh, before or after the hairballs.
yeah.
That only happens when I've been aggressively grooming myself.
Which when was the last time you did that? Did you do it before you left the town?
No.
Can't believe we're having this discussion.
Oh, oh. She
So I'll
and
just make a little. I'll just make a little. I'll write down in my notebook what I find.
she and I have had hairball discussions. She's told me how she's planning to handle that. So,
It's an important piece of information to know about your character.
well, given your tabaxi, yes.
I love it.
So now there's three of you and two horses. So what are you gonna do?
We can.
Guess we got to double up
Yeah.
somehow.
If we can try that until my guess would be the two of you would be on the same horse as your lighter. And if your horse gets too tired, we can switch for a little bit and kind of try that to sort of share the load between the horses.
I would say you're probably about an hour from Cutter. If your horse is moving at a, you know, not galloping, but moving at a decent clip, you're about an hour from Cutter.
Assuming the ground doesn't try to swallow us again.
Yeah. And that you just never know.
Mm-hmm.
Given given that you weren't expecting it to try and do it this time.
I think that's our best shot to try and share the load between the horses and just make it to town. as best we can. Even if we get closer, close enough, and then we just walk a short distance or the rest of the way if the horses are too tired. I can imagine they're a little bit disturbed by what's been happening.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, if you saw one of your relatives laying on the ground with strange colors coming out of their mouth, you would be somewhat distressed by that.
I don't know. My family's kind of weird.
What am I describing? Christmas or what?
We're not going there.
Oh, come on. No. So, uh, so you guys, yeah, Arya and Meadow share a horse, and the two of you keep going. Um, and in about an hour, you come up to the crossroads, where if you turn left, it leads to Cutter, and if you turn right, it leads to Porterville. So, which way are you guys gonna go? Or you could do it the really fun way. The
In
three
quotes.
the three of you could roll dice to see which direction you go.
They're both the same distance away, right?
Roughly Cutter. I would say Cutter's maybe 5 miles closer.
What were you gonna say, Meadow?
I was gonna say I thought he said that Cutter was closer. I seem to
Yeah.
remember that.
Because the road going off to the left curves around and comes back toward you a little bit.
And since the horses probably do need rest and water and food at this point, I'd say we should just head on into Cutter.
And yeah, several days of psychiatric therapy and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I could use a little rest myself. And several days of psychiatric therapy.
So, um, so if everybody's agreed, you're headed to the left.
I'd say Cutter sounds like the best choice.
To Cutter.
So you're headed to the left, and you're curving around slightly back toward the chasm you just came from.
I feel like it's important that you're asking us that question.
Well, I need perception checks from all three of you.
Great. 16.
24.
14.
You all three look back in the direction that you had just come from. There's nothing there.
We mean nothing there.
No chasm, no horse. There's nothing there.
As in, it was never real, or It's just gone now.
It's just gone now. In the space of less than an hour, this horse and this large opening in the ground is gone.
Hmm.
And and there was nobody else in the area except the three of you.
Well, that's fun.
So after noticing that, the three of you wander up to um, the city gates of Cutter, which are surprisingly fortified for what looked on the map to be a s- smaller village. But there's, you know, stakes in the ground. There's a pair of large wooden doors. Uh, you can see past, you can see to the left of the doors, there's a fence type thing, and there's all manner of weapons leaning against the fence. And as you're surveying this, and one of the large wooden doors open, and a, a rather odd looking tan skinned ogre walks through the large door up to where you are, sidesteps the spikes, and goes, "What business do you have in Cutter?"
Well, we need another horse,
You can get that.
and we've heard that you're one of the oldest towns on the island, so we came seeking some, hopefully, ancient history that we are trying to research.
Well, so just to be clear, you're not attempting anything that may end up violent.
Not right now.
Well,
No plans on it.
No, we are not.
we've had some local squabbles with a couple of the other villages, as you can as you can tell by the weapons that are standing there. Um, and since You didn't look like anybody I've ever seen before.
We get that a lot.
I'm I've been instructed to be extremely careful about who I let through the doors here because we've had a couple of nighttime raids that we weren't prepared for. But if all you're needing is a horse and some research, we do have a library that is kept by our clerics hospital that you might be able to get information from. It goes back at least as far as the or, origin of Cutter itself. And,
That's helpful.
and oh, by the way, just for a bit of description, this ogre is tan skinned, which doesn't, most ogres aren't. And this guy, I would say, is at least 9 to 10 feet tall. He's like, I will let you in, but if I hear of any trouble happening, I'm going to come and get you. So, you know, let me let me finish my tan, and you guys just don't give me any trouble, and you know,
Tan.
Can you tell me where the livery is?
um, he says, Cutter's pretty small. Once you get in the door, you'll be able to smell where the livery is. And the cleric hospital with the library is in the center of the village.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And he lets you through, closes the door, and basically disappears.
So I'll tell the other two I'll meet them at the library after I take care of the horse.
And so Meadow goes off toward the smell of horses and other animals and stuff like that. Be, being a tabaxi, your nose had no problem figuring this out. So is Arya and Arden headed to the cleric hospital in the center of town? Or what do the two of you want to do?
Um, I guess we're heading. I'm heading to the. Hopefully, get access to the library.
Seems like the best choice.
Okay. And Arden, for you, it's always, you know, not a bad idea for you to check in at the cleric hospital in any town you happen to wander into.
Father Bob said to anyway.
Yeah,
BAWB.
right. It's the British spelling.
Yeah, gotta have the high fantasy.
Well, Bob, Bob is from London, so
Fair enough.
he lived outside of Manchester when he was a kid and moved to London. So, but so we'll take care of Meadow and her horse first, as that is closer than walking to the center of the village. Meadow, you walk. You follow your nose to the livery, and probably
Lovely.
5, 10 minutes later, you're standing in front of a what people who lived on a farm would characterize as a very large barn. And um, and as you get there, give me a constitution check.
Really?
Yeah. And it's not for what you're thinking. It's for probably
9. I wasn't thinking anything in particular.
apparently not. You see, however, you stagger backwards as the barn door opens. And even though you've never seen a being like this before, what is now standing in front of you can only be described as a celestial being. It, it's, for all intents and purposes, a human shape with a human face, but it has gold, gold light surrounding it. And you stumble backwards and are barely able to uh, stay upright because it is a shock to your system to even see this creature.
And that's just what I need today, more shocks.
Although it is not a bad energy by any means, it's actually good energy, but you just weren't expecting to walk into a livery barn and have a celestial standing there.
Right.
And it says to you in one of the nicer, lilting, sing song voices you've heard, "Hello, I am Jonah. How can I help you?"
And then sort of just standing here, I kind of swallow it. I just kind of like, horse? Horse? I'm trying to get myself under control. Like, I need to buy a horse.
Uh, I can help you with that. Did you have any type of horse in mind?
Uh,
Or
just one
does
that's Just one that's sure-footed would be good.
Yeah, I think I can handle that. Why don't you come into the barn and sit down while I uh, check on which horses we have available currently? And he takes your hand and leads you into the barn. And there is all manner of uh, the types of animals that would like pull carts and wagons. So there are horses and donkeys and various other types of animals like that. Uh, he disappears and comes back a few minutes later with this female chestnut horse. And it slowly walks toward you. And it gets close enough that you could reach out and touch it. And it sort of snuffles at you. And Jonah says, I think this one will be good for you. It's
It looks. She looks acceptable, yes.
she's a fairly calm animal. Uh, you however look like you've gone through some trauma recently.
You could say that. Uh, my day's not exactly going how I'd hoped.
Jonah actually, after he puts the livery on the tack on the horse, comes up to you and takes your hand. And you feel warm energy enter your body. Says, and he looks at you with a quizzical look on your face, on his face. Excuse me. Uh, have you done? Have you been plane traveling recently?
No, I would think I would know if I'd been doing that.
Well, you definitely have traces of energy from other planes on you right now.
And I remember sort of what the horse had said, that it kept saying plane. I'm like, I haven't been plane traveling. I mean, not I haven't been to another plane, but it maybe I was exposed to one. Maybe that's what that was.
Well,
I haven't been in one though. I think I might have almost been.
well, being a celestial being, I can um, sense plane energy, and you've definitely got, geez, fact, with all the colors I'm seeing on you, you've pro- you've got traces of energy from at least 6 different planes on you right now. Where did you get this from? Did you freeze Rowan?
Uh-oh.
Because,
Yep, she frozen.
yeah, her face isn't moving.
Technical difficulties. Stand by.
Right, yeah. But I will say we have a whole lot less technical difficulties with StreamYard than we had in the beginning.
I remember that.
Yeah. So, and it's probably her computer because every now and again it'll decide to update at just the wrong time.
Oh,
What? So, but while that's going on, we'll say that the two of you make it to the cleric hospital at the center of town. And you walk up to a multi-story wooden structure.
Sorry, my computer did a thing. I'm back.
You gotta
Welcome
have
back.
you gotta have the same talk with your computer that you have to have with your dice. That's
Yeah.
what, because neither one of them cooperates very well. Uh,
not today at least.
so, uh, Meadow, you basically purchase the horse and lead it out of the barn, and you are heading over to meet your friends at the cleric hospital in the center of town. Um, as I was saying to them while you were gone, the two of you get there and you look up and you're standing in front of a multi-story wooden building with large metal doors.
Okay, well, tie the horse up outside.
I do the same.
And the two of you walk to the large metal doors. Uh, which one of you is gonna knock?
This is the library, not the temple, right?
This is the temple. The library is part of it.
Okay.
In fact, you'll find out as soon as somebody opens the door.
Which um which deity is this temple to, or do we just not know?
You don't know.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's me. I'll knock.
Yeah. So Arden knocks on the door. Couple of minutes later,
Couple of minutes.
it takes a second, and The door opens, and there's this small human girl standing there. And she's like, "Hello, I'm Corey. How, who are you?"
Hi, my name is Arden, and this is Arya. We're what were you gonna say something?
She looks at both of you for a second, then looks back at Arden and says, "Your clothes look fairly similar to the clothes my mom wears. Sh she's just inside in here."
Is this a temple to the goddess of saloon? I guess I would recognize that if it was.
She's like, she's young enough, she's not sure who that is. She's like, "But you should come in and talk to my mom. She would know more than I do."
Thank you.
And she holds the door open for the two of you, and then you get inside, and the door suddenly slams because she didn't bother to close it gently. She just let go of it.
That
So the
sounds like my kids.
yeah, kids don't ever gently close doors. In fact, they don't even care about doors. And just, as long as I can get through it. But so the door slams behind you. Uh, And you do hear this female voice that says, "You need to stop slamming the door." Uh, and um,
Someone's
you
car
see,
alarm.
you see this um, this lady that you can only describe as a half elf because you can see her ears within her hood. But other than that, she looks human. She says, "Hello, I'm Cora. I I'm the head mistress at this temple slash hospital. What can I do for you?" Uh, the two of you don't look like people that I've seen here before.
This is our first time. This is our first time
Ah,
in the city.
okay. And, mm, how can I help you? The two of you don't look physically injured in any way.
Uh, we've come to do some research on some
Oh,
ancient things,
oh. So you're wanting to use our library, I take it.
if possible. Yes.
Um, I think um, I think you should be able to. There isn't anybody in the library right now, so you should be uh, clear to look at whatever you need to. Just be sure to put anything back that you pull off a shelf or something.
Good job.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
Do you have anything related to ancient artifacts?
As a matter of fact, we do. Uh, the main library is on the third floor, but restrict our special restricted section is in the basement.
Okay.
Um, and anything we have compiled on ancient, ancient artifacts would be in the special section because we don't want your average townsperson just poking into such things. Could get them into trouble they don't understand.
Isn't that the truth?
Um,
Would you allow us to spend some time in research?
I would, as I said before, just put put back anything you displace. Uh, um, I'm assuming you have a way to write things down because you are not allowed to take anything out of the library.
We do, yes.
So the the basement is the entrance to the basement is just over in the corner, and as you look around the room, you do in fact see a wooden staircase in the corner of the room that leads down. Uh, Cora turns to you and says, "Let me know when you're finished, and um, I I need to leave you right now because I need to go find Cora and make sure uh, Corey and make sure she's not getting into anything." And with that, she nods politely and turns and leaves.
Oh, that was easy.
Yeah. Down we go, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
And about this time, you hear the large door open again, and Meadow walks through. Uh, then you hear the door slam behind you again.
Well, hello, Meadow.
Hi. I guess this is the library?
No, this is the clerics area.
Are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost.
I saw something. I don't know if it was a ghost or not, actually.
Yeah, you can tell that the parts of you that exposes your fur under your armor, if you're wearing any, is standing up.
Leather.
Yeah. Any part of your body that's exposed, the hair is standing straight up. Sort of like what happens when your hair encounters static electricity. Only this is happening over your entire body. So,
If I didn't know better, it would look like you've had a spiritual experience of some kind. Do tabaxi pray?
Some of them might. I mean, I imagine there are tabaxi clerics, but I personally no. Although the way today's going, maybe I should start.
so the three of you head down to the basement. It's musty. It's old. It's
That's what it is.
made out of wood, so there's smell of old, you know, tar, varnish, whatever they used to seal against the weather. And, and it's
I'm
what now?
just wrinkling my nose.
Uh, yeah, it smells old down here. Very old, actually.
Well, at least it smells like something we need to be looking at for what we've been described.
And it's basically one big room about the size of the uh, room you were in upstairs. And there are shelves lining the walls full of old parchment scrolls, books that have the binding barely hanging on, you know, bundles of parchment with that aren't scrolls. They're just tied bundles of parchment. It's like they thought about making a book out of it and then decided that probably be too risky, so they just tied the pages together. But this is all over the room because all four walls are covered with shelves. Where do you start?
Well, who knows what we're looking for?
Don't
Maybe
know.
maybe we should just each take a wall and start looking at books.
Best option we got right at the moment.
And uh, at this point, before we start what may be a somewhat drawn out activity, it is 10:30 my time, or
Holy crap! It is.
slightly after. So, uh, Robin and I could go on and do this. We could. We've been known to play for hours, but the two of you being in different time zones, how much energy do you have left?
Mm,
I'm not going to be able to stay up much later.
Mm,
I'm okay, but I can feel it. I had the kids all day.
well, then why don't we say that you guys get to the library and uh, sort of get your bearings, and then we'll pick up the next episode with you guys starting to search around for things. 'Cause I could see this taking another hour, maybe. So,
I don't know that I've got an hour for you.
right. That's why I wanted to stop and check. So, we'll say that you guys just sort of started searching and hung around, and we'll pick it up next time.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
pick it up at the library next time.
Yeah.
That works.
We'll just say that you all got there, started looking around, and then the cleric hospital was nice enough to give you a space to crash for the night, so you don't have to go finding an inn or something.
That was very nice of them.
Um, well, so did you guys have fun?
Yeah, I did.
Yes, I guess. I don't know, but I had fun. I don't know if my character did.
Well, your character's still alive.
Yeah,
At least you're not your horse. So,
right.
although your horse is, you know, it's like on the best acid trip in the world until it passes away. So, uh,
Well, I kind of thought we were headed one way, and then I realized the spirit of Jinx is still with us.
Right.
Even if he couldn't be here, he still was.
now that everybody has their rolling back to normal, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens on the next episode.
There's no guarantee it's going to be any better next time.
Well, no, that's exactly what I mean. You guys were initially rolling really well, and now it's back to where it should be
Right.
with
Because
her
I said
not
something out loud.
being able to roll with crap. So that's back to where it should be.
I still remember in one of the last before I came and played this, I failed like 4 stealth checks in a row. Because remember, I brought the cleric over from that other campaign, and I failed like 4 stealth. So the joke in the old one was that I failed stealth in cleric college.
Actually, what everybody else doesn't know is they don't teach stealth in cleric college.
Yeah, there you go.
It wasn't an option for you to take, so of course you'd fail.
It was either that or minor celestial deities.
your um your holy symbol and your staff make too much noise.
Yeah, clerics not known for their stealth either.
Right, no. Because the one it shows in the book is a dwarf with plate mail. So he's not going to be stealthing anytime soon. So, um, but I hope everybody that sees this out there has as much fun as we had. And I hope you all like it well enough to like and subscribe and keep following our games. And we will keep doing this one and Vampire. And hopefully at some point we'll get back to Fallen Dragons because I have a horrible, awful death waiting for all of them, and I've been
No, only
Okay,
the four.
spoilers.
Only four are going to have a horrible death. I'll get away clean.
yeah, and oh no spoilers by the way. I'm just going to say that I've been planning this for a while now, and it would be a shame to not play it out. But they have a statistical chance of surviving, but when you take in their rolling ability, that
Oh, yeah, we are kind of screwed, aren't we?
uh, what's
Although I do have a plan for getting us out of the Underdark if it pans out. But
so
It can't be any worse than. Never mind.
oh, it can always be worse.
Yes, it could.
well, no, it's not a bad plan. It's just I'm not sure if it would be 100% successful. It depends on things.
No plan is 100% successful. But anyway, uh, you know, like and subscribe, uh, comment, jump on Discord, uh, give me more interesting ideas to do to these people.
Oh, no, it doesn't need any more ideas.
No, yeah, no, it really doesn't.
Or conversely, you could try and give them ideas to help them, but
That would be beneficial.
where's the fun in that?
Well,
So,
you say it that way. I've kind of gotten attached to my characters over time.
oh, and go buy all of Robin's books for Christmas. Give them to your entire family. Uh, and Christmas Call of Cthulhu's like 5, 6 weeks away, maybe. Or no, I guess that would be. No, that's Halloween, not Christmas.
Yeah, the Halloween Call of Cthulhu's the next one we're gonna do.
Because we have Halloween and Thanksgiving and then Christmas. So,
Get ahead of yourself.
eh, there's always Cthulhu monsters floating around in my head. So,
Oh, that's unfortunate.
well, you've been over. You know I've got one sitting on my bookshelf over there. So, yeah, we have discussions and such. So,
You and the Cthulhu monster?
yeah,
Okay.
we talk. He gives me ideas. So, yeah.
I may have to have a talk with him then. Tell him to stop giving you ideas.
He likes killing you off. Uh, but anyway, so look for our Halloween edition, and because Halloween is coming up faster than you'll think. So
For sure.
the stores put out candy at the beginning of August. Are you kidding? So
That time. My youngest wants to take our dogs trick or treating this year, and we're going to dress up our pity mix in a Darth Vader costume, but she's going to bark Vader.
okay.
Oh, cute.
Have you checked this and got permission from the dog? Because he might not actually agree with this theory.
She didn't seem to mind.
Because a lot of the dogs that I've seen the owners dress them up, the dogs look depressed. They're like,
Oh,
it's like, why is somebody doing this to me?
All
well,
right,
that's not what we're going
I gotta
for.
go. So
Okay.
catch y'all next time.
Okay, see you
Alright.
later.
Yeah, I think I want to take off too.
If either one of you end up talking to Jenks, find out how he's doing.
He just said he just had his third round of chemo, I think. Said it went better than it still messed with him, but it was better than the first two.
Tell him to get a hold of some gummies or edibles. He'll feel better.
Ah,
Oh, I take them all the time.
well, I have no idea if that's helpful for what he's going through. Generally don't.
Well, they say that chemotherapy is one of the things that THC actually helps. It helps them not be nauseous and such. So,
Oh, Chase is telling me he needs to go out, so I think I'd
All right.
better go and do that. He's giving
Good
me
night,
the look. Right.
Good night,
it's
everybody.
Okay, hang on.
night. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Have a good week or two.
You too, both of you.
Okay, you too. Okay, he's whining at me, so I'd better go.
Well, it's 10 to 11, so it's
Right. I think he
Yeah.
needs to go out though.
have you because you haven't fed him yet, right?
Right.
Well, with that, I guess we'll say good night and we'll see you. Hopefully, see you next week for Vampire.
Yep.
And I'll hit end there.